You guys have seen me paint in this park 100 times. I'm going to paint a scene I painted before, but I'm going to paint farther back because I really love the reflection of these trees. Last time I tried to paint all the sunshine behind the trees as it was going down. This time, I'm going to paint the shadows of the trees as they're coming forward toward the camera. See, the lights are already on as it's about to get dark. And I'm painting into the light, which is very hard for me. Can't see very well that way. But I'm going to step back here. And as that sun gets just a little lower, all these trees are going to be reflected over here. Here comes my stuff now. Ready to get going. You're not going to get to see a whole bunch of this because it's getting dark fast, the mosquitoes are everywhere, but I'm just getting in the basics. So I'm blocking it in really fast. I just want to get basic colors in. I want to get basic coverage down. I'll have to go over all this later, but I just need my concept right now. I can't do a whole bunch of painting here in the park because it is just about to close, but I wanted to get my basic concept in. And I also had to cut some of the sound out because we had some very rowdy people behind us. But we will finish this at home. Just a few photos to show you how beautiful the sundown is here in the park. So this is where I was at. This is kind of the fun middle part of the painting. I'm going to apply these greens several times because this is oil and it is mixing a little bit with some of the paint underneath. So as it tacks up a little bit, it'll be easier to get it on there. It's the back field that's got most of the yellow-green in it. And all I'm going to do is layer and layer and layer until I've got my perspective. You'll see brighter colors, darker colors coming forward, with the exception of the field back there, which is going to be the brightest color in the whole painting because the sun is striking back there very strongly, with the exception of a few dappled lights up in the front. Those will be the lightest lights. You notice I put my reflections in some cases, or my shadows, before I put the trees in, because the shadows are more important than the actual trees are in this painting, and I needed them to be in the correct places. I considered not painting that road and just making it all grass, but I didn't like the way that looked as much as the actual road. I also considered the balance of the painting and added one or two skinny trees on the left that weren't there. There's certain things that really attract me, and one of them is the lights from sundown and sunrise. I have kind of a kooky attraction to ditches as well. Sounds kind of silly, but the reflections in some of the water that's down in the ditches, some of those are very interesting to me, and I've painted several, and I'm planning on painting several more and doing a whole little series of different beautiful ditches around the city. Some of this is just confusing, I'm quite sure, because I'm putting in a lot of the colors right now, but not necessarily the design. Now, when you see the trees over the top of this, you'll get it. Anyway, I like to let you see some of this in real time, but most of it I will speed up. I'm sorry I couldn't do more of this out there in the field. It's a fine line trying to get sunset and then getting thrown out of the park because you can only stay so long. They have to close the park down. So if I try to paint in the middle of the day, which I've done, I don't get as dramatic a scene. Right in the middle is my darkest, because these leaves are obstructed, and over here is very dark. This is closest to us. So you see how I come forward and I get darker. Spots here, a few here. So that just shows you which leaves are more forward. And then with just a little left on my brush, see the difference? There's some dark over here. But you have that nice background, which has just a little bit of lavender in it, so that it looks farther away. And some of these guys are up closer. Down closer to the ground, where there's not as much light, you'll always be a little darker. So you get the idea. And the trees that actually are brown, they really kind of have a lot of moss on them, and they sort of appear greenish. As you notice, as I've told you many times in the past, I cannot talk and paint. So many decisions have to be made. So you get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. I will let this dry a little bit and then I'll lay down some more and just keep layering my colors on here. Layering my leaves. There's lots more little twigs and branches, but this is the general idea. This is a street that's going by here. And hopefully after I get more grass in here, you'll understand that this is the street. I'll be putting a little more blue in there to kind of make it look more like gravel. And definitely you'll have more of a line back here, which you will understand is the forest. This is like a little hump where these trees are kind of coming out of. So we're getting there. So I'm continuing to build the sky, to layer in the leaves on the trees, to put the actual trees in. They're not completely in yet. They're not that thin. To make my choices of colors for the street here, for this clump of grass that these trees are growing out of, this little mound, which I think I need to maybe make a little rounder here. It's hard to say. Got to look at it again. And then, of course, to put this field back here very, very bright, because that's where the sun is really hitting. So I have to let that dry a bit so that my bright color does not mix in with my darker color. But we're getting there. I know there's a reflection because my phone has decided it needs a light on. I didn't tell it to do that. I don't know why it happened. But anyway, that's what it looks like so far. Here's a little more progress. And here it is with a different light on, showing you how much brighter it is if you turn the lights up. Okay, here's the final product. Except one boo-boo right there that I can't live with. That's better. Okay. Anyway, there's the sunshine striking through the trees. Utterly beautiful. It's sundown at the park. Hope you all enjoyed this one. I just love lights, so they're just something that attracts me, makes me want to paint. It's like a little fairy tale. There's nothing I love better. Okay, I will take a snapshot. Thanks for joining me, guys.